Hi guys, welcome to another episode of VegBait, where I take common excuses made against veganism and I respond to them. Today's excuse is Inuits need meat though. So firstly, if you are not in an Inuit situation, this shouldn't be of a concern to you because it's not going to affect your transition to veganism. You are living under completely different circumstances. However, if you really want to hear what a vegan's opinion is on this, then just keep watching. So when you can't get access to plant-based foods, you just can't get to them to buy them, or maybe you're operating under a trading system so you don't have the money, then it's justifiable to eat animal products because you cannot get your hands on plant-based foods. You would not be able to survive because you need a caloric source of food. And if you can't get that from plants, then you have to go to animal products because that is the next best source of food. Remember, as far as practical and possible, it's not practical to not eat animal products because you want to save the planet, save your health, and save the animals, but you don't have any access to plant-based foods. You would basically be starving yourself for those three things. And, try your best to eat more plant-based options if you have any available to you. Try your best to eat them. I know beans, rice, potatoes, they're like the cheapest things you can ever buy, poor man's diet, and you might have access to those up north. I'm not sure, I've never been up north, but as far as I know, those are probably your cheapest plant-based options. Fresh produce, frozen produce, really expensive. And I understand if you do not have the money to afford that because a lot of people are still operating under a trading system. And while there's grocery stores scattered up there, like I said, the prices are very high. And this is because the cost of flying in all the food. It's easier to just make your own food, get your own food. And the animals killed for clothing is much of the same deal. Alternatives tend to be more expensive and making your own is cheaper. If an Inuit doesn't have enough money or they're operating under a trading system, it's justifiable because without a coat, they will freeze to death. And actually, within recent times, more people are switching to canvas coats rather than fur coats. And any fur coats tend to get passed down throughout the family, so there's not new ones constantly being made. I'm going to make a video eventually that I will link in the cards once I have made it and uploaded it about is it okay to buy secondhand items that are animal products, is it okay to get gifts from people, stuff like that. So keep an eye out for that because it kind of relates to this with the passing the fur coats and fur boots down throughout the generations. That's acceptable. I'll say that now in this video so you understand. Because you're not contributing to more animals being killed. The damage is done when you either paid for the coat or you killed it yourself. What about dog sleds? Vegans consider dog sled racing to be exploitation. However, Inuits are not racing dogs for entertainment. Inuits use dog sleds for traveling if they don't have a snowmobile available or an automobile. If it's their only source of transportation and they need to travel far distances, then it's acceptable for them to use dog sleds. But way more people are using automobiles now, snowmobiles, four-wheelers. They're not using dog sleds very much anymore. And although Inuits may need to eat animal products for their caloric source, like I said in the beginning, because they don't have plant options available to them, it doesn't mean it's necessarily good for them. And Mike the Vegan has made a video on this. I will link it in the cards. Very important video, talks about all the studies that have been done on them and their diet and its effect on their health, and why you really shouldn't be eating like them if you want to be healthy. And lastly, what about the seal hunt? That's acceptable because the Inuits need to eat meat, right? Actually, the seal hunt isn't performed by Inuits, but rather locals of Newfoundland. Only 10% of sealers come from elsewhere. And I'm going to address the seal hunt in this video because a lot of people think that the seal hunt is done by Inuits in Canada. And that's why it's justifiable because they need to for meat and for food and for fur. The seal hunt continues to be one of Canada's most barbaric acts, proving that even Canadians are not as nice as we're made out to be. The methods of killing seals are very outdated. Clubs are still used as well as harpoons, ways that most certainly do not meet the International Humane Slaughter Act and regulations. Worst of all, sealers will claim that they do not kill baby seals. But really, sealers are allowed to kill pups as long as their baby fur has shed. The fur can shed as soon as 12 days old. And 98% of seals in the past 10 years have been killed at less than 3 months old. And they know this because in Canada, I don't know about anywhere else in the world, when you're hunting or trapping animals, you have to get a tag to be able to kill a certain number of them so it doesn't drastically affect the number of animals and they don't go extinct or endangered. So throughout the year you have rangers and everything that are tracking the numbers and the population, so they know when the seal hunt happens or when hunting season comes how many you can kill. That's why we have such good numbers on how many are young, how many are old. So don't Canadians kill seals because of overpopulation then? Because don't the seals eat all the fish? And that's why our fish population is so low? Nope. Canadians are killing seals for one reason and only one reason. Trading. Profit. Long ago, seals were killed for fur, to be traded to other parts of the world. And this much is still true. The Canadian government is greedy and wants more money to Canada. The Canadian government is even using our taxes to fund the seal hunt, although the majority of Canadians are actually against it. And the claim that seals are overpopulating is completely false. They're still getting their numbers back after they were pushed to endangerment back in the 50s and 60s. In the 80s, hunting levels declined so they could repopulate. And the seals are most certainly not the cause of the lack of fish. Sealers are only claiming this to distract us from our unsustainable fishing practices. And they may even be ignorant to scientific data, which the documentary Seaspiracy explains. It's just a short 14-minute documentary that a vegan activist made about our oceans and our fishing practices and the effect that they're having on the planet. So I suggest watching that. They're actually working on a new documentary for it, so as soon as that's up, I will try to link that because it is gonna be so awesome. That's everything. Basically, if you are in a survival situation and you need to eat in order to survive, if you don't have plant options available to you, animals will do. Because that's what we ate a long time ago when we didn't have as many plants available to us. And we had to go days and days without eating. We needed a caloric source, a dense caloric source, and that was animal products. I hope this video made sense to you. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in another VegBait episode. Goodbye.